In this envelope, Ellie's fate is enclosed. Her daycare results came back. We'll get to see what daycare she got into. Is it our first choice? She got into our first choice! She got into our first choice! Yay! Apparently I'm really monotone and I've gotten a lot of comments about that. So I'm going to try to pep up my voice for you guys. Anyway, Ellie got into daycare as you saw in the video. She not only got into daycare, but she got into our first choice, which is like winning the lottery. I mean, it's like amazing that she got into our first choice in public daycare. One, it's really hard to get into public daycare, as I explained in my first video. It's hard because of both parents have to be working, or the mom has to be pregnant, or there has to be some sort of circumstance where no one in the family can watch the children. And a lot of people want to get into public daycare because it's stipend on your income, so it's cheaper than private daycare, and there's a lot of nice things about it. Around my home there's a lot of daycares, but there's only a few that are really popular, so that makes it all the harder to get into those daycares. And the top two choices, I chose three. My first two choices are the two most popular daycares in my area, and she got into our first choice. So I'm going to explain some advice how to get into public daycare, and specifically how Ellie got into public daycare. So I've got my calendar from last year here. So there's only a certain amount of time in the year that you can apply for public daycare. Like, it's not like you can just pull up an application and go in at any time. It's not like that. So you have to pay attention to when you want to start working, and you have to make sure that your job has, like, you have a job set up, and like that they're willing to like give you proof that you're going to be working, because like I said, both parents have to be working. You also need to pay attention to the date. So this year it was from October 15th you could pick up the daycare application, and you had to have it turned in by November 2nd. So that's only like a 2-week period where you can pick up the application at your ward office, your kuyakusho, and then fill out, which is a lot of stuff to fill out. Like, you have to have your, I think your insurance information, and like how much money you made that year, and you need to have like your work notification that you're working, and like you have to state where your parents are living. You have to have like a written reason why no one can watch your child, and you really need to appeal to them. That's the most important thing, is if you don't have like a really legit looking reason for why you absolutely need to have your child in public daycare, they won't get in, because there's so many people trying to get in. Obviously they're going to take the person who's most in need of public daycare. In our circumstance, like, we actually really do need public daycare, because obviously, like, my parents aren't here, and so I can't have them watch Ellie while I'm working, and Suki's mom, she's not able to watch Ellie all the time. She can like help sometimes, but she can't watch Ellie full time while I'm at work. And Suki, there really is nobody to watch Ellie, and we have proof of that. We have evidence of that, and that was definitely a benefit on our part. The next thing is that they have a point system based on like your income and how many hours a week you're going to work. So Suki works full time, so he gets, like, I'm pretty sure almost full points. Like, I'm sure, like, if you work overtime or something, you get more points. But I'm going to be working Monday through Friday full time as well. So both of us have lots of points, and they look at the points that amount to whether or not you're going to get in. Then, to make it even more complicated, everybody that applied for public daycare, you turn in your application. So this year, like I said, it was November 2nd. You can turn it in before that. Then they decide a interview. So the interview is at your first choice. You can choose, like, I think it was up to 6 daycares. So you list your top 6 choices. I only did 3 because those are the only schools that I felt comfortable putting Ellie into. So your first choice, you get a letter in the mail that says your interview date is, mine was December 11th. And so that was a few weeks, like a month after I turned in my application. I went to the interview, and you have to be interviewed by somebody from the ward office, so somebody who, like, reviews the application. They'll have your application there in front of you, and they're going to ask you, like, basically, like, so why can't your child be taken care of by somebody else? And what are you planning on doing? Where are you going to work? And are you going to work full time? And what else did they ask me? Like, do you have any questions or any concerns about daycare? And who's going to pick your child up from daycare? And who's going to take care of your child if your child's sick? All those things they ask you, and they basically go over your application with you. And then you're done, and you just have to wait it out. And let's see, so it's February. So they said to me, if you get a phone call between January and February, then that means you didn't get into any daycares that you wanted to get into. And so you don't want to get the call. Luckily, we didn't get a phone call, and then by the end of January, if you don't get a phone call, you get a letter in the mail that says where your child was enrolled, where your child got into. So we got that letter, and that's what the video was. It was me opening the letter that we've been waiting for. Like, we've been planning and just trying to get her into public daycare for the past year. So finally we got her in, and she got into her first choice, and that's just so wonderful. I'm so relieved, because I went around to all the daycares in my area, and I talked to the principal, I viewed them, I played with the kids, I met the teachers, and the school that Ellie got into is definitely, like, the best in a lot of ways. It's really close to my apartment. My mother-in-law can pick her up if we can't. It's open the latest and open the earliest, and it has, my favorite thing about it is that it has the largest outdoor play area I've seen in any public daycare. A lot of places, a lot of international schools and a lot of daycares in the city are in buildings, so there's no outdoor play space, so they usually take the kids to play at a playground somewhere else, and that's only like once a week, and this place has them outside as much as possible, and, like, of course they play inside too when it's cold or raining or whatever, but, like, and when I went there, they were, like, had these big bottles of paint, and they were, like, splashing it and coloring the mud with it, and Ellie was there, and she was just, like, loving it. She was just playing with all the kids and did not want to come home. And now whenever we go past the daycare, she wants to play, like, she wants to go in. And so I'm really relieved, and the principal is wonderful. She actually taught abroad, so, like, she understands, like, my concerns working in Japan, and she just really connected with me well, and I'm just really glad. I'm glad that Ellie is going to be in an environment where she can be playing, because I think that at 2 years old, like, I can teach her English, and I want her to be more in a school that's focused on, like, playing and being around other children more so than, like, focused on, like, reading and writing and learning, because playing is learning. Anyway, so I'm happy. I mean, it's not an international school. I did kind of want her to be in an international school, but this school is really great, and I'm really happy and really relieved and really comfortable knowing that she's in good hands. So what else can I say about public daycare? anyway, so Ellie will start daycare in, I think, April 1st, and I start work a few weeks before her. I start training before her. So my mom is coming from America for March 10th, and she's going to spend 4 weeks here, and she's going to be here while I go through training. She's going to take care of Ellie during that time, and then she's also going to be here for the first week of Ellie's daycare because they don't enroll her full-time right away. Like, she has to start half days, and then if she's comfortable, then they start her full days. So my mom will be here to pick her up on the half days. I'm really relieved I have my mom, and I'm excited to start working. I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited to see what my new life has for me, what the future has, and I'm excited to move forward in a new chapter of my life. And I'm excited for Ellie because she gets to spend time with friends and playing and not inside all day with me. So I'll have to update you guys next month, and you'll get to see some videos of my mom. Anyways, stay tuned. Bye.